All right. This thing's nice.
What you got there, Jeremy?
Got us Lectric XPeak 2.0. Has a 48 volt, 20 amp hour lithium battery, 750 watt rear geared hub, and M24 electric motor.
Silent M24 from Lectric.
Silent. Yeah, I'm interested to see that. And yeah, so far, man, I just got on it, but quick glance, it was nice.
I appreciate you bringing it up here. We're going to get this thing inside, talk to Brad, take it front to back, let him review that. We will take him through what we know about it. You and I both started with Lectric.
Yeah.
They are our first e-bike specials. So I really appreciate you bringing this up here so we can get this in front of Brad and get his opinion. And then we're going to take it for a ride.
Let's do it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You ready? Is your mic on?
I think so.
Your mic on? Blue dot.
You see it, blue dot?
Audio's on, my man. What's up, gentlemen? Jeremy, thank you for bringing this up here.
No problem.
I needed somebody to ride this bike up here, so he brought it. Wanted to get it in front of you, so
And now it's
we
behind
could.
me.
Yes. I don't. Sometimes.
And you still can get it in front of me.
Okay. Check. Anyway, wanted to bring it up for Brad. Get a review. We're going to go through this thing, similar style that we did with our previous video. We're going to front to back. We'll just talk about everything that you see. We'll get into the settings a little bit more and discuss some of the featured upgrades that I know of and some of the aspects that are very important for what Lectric wanted to highlight for this bike and are important for any new owner to realize when they go to make the purchase. I am a super big fan of Lectric. I believe 100% in their customer service, and if I was to tell a new e-bike rider or owner which bike brand to get, if they're just not sure, it's going to be that, specifically for the customer service. Hands down, the best. They're always there, responsive, and can pretty much deal with anything. I know you've experienced it, you've experienced it a ton.
They'll do whatever it takes to keep you happy and
right.
make sure your bike works and is down for as little time as possible. Great company.
Agree.
Agreed. Look, see what happens when we agree? It's just,
It's smooth.
I don't
You
have
didn't
to.
even tell me to agree with
Positive affirmation, none of that stuff.
It wasn't forced.
Go front to back on this. Stick around towards the end of the video. Brad will be out on the ride. We'll get him in a chest cam, and then I will film him and then take it on down the road so we can get some of the live commentary from him. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Do you know the rest of it? Get in that Facebook group.
Make a event.
Go for a ride with your
Go
friends.
for our friends, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And I did so it's going to populate.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you
Right.
point, it just magically appears
There's
on
going to
the
be
screen.
numbers and websites and information.
Just call Brad, because he loves the random phone calls. If you need any modification, repair, upgrades for your PEVs, and I keep saying it and we haven't seen it yet, but bring in a hydrofoil. I really, really want to test the hydrofoil after repair. Tarp and Tops e-bikes in Palm Harbor. Brad, Wes, and the crew will take care of you, and I may be here too, because I'm just, an e-bike geek, I guess. It seems to be the weekend. And I've been showing up on Sundays for whatever reason. Electric Sundays, electric repair Sundays, that's where it goes.
That's what I bring.
All the flat tires.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's get to it.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to let you give the...
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know you guys were filming.
Yeah.
Well, Brad,
Yep.
the rack has been fixed.
Yep.
You didn't even get to ride it that day. Jeremy's the first one to ride it.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate him bringing it up here. What had happened was in the box, it seems like something came down on the back end and just smashed it, and then it sheared off the heads of the screws.
Yeah.
And ended up being a 4-hour ordeal. Got ripped apart for not using the right tools by a mechanic.
Yeah.
It just,
okay.
The
The job got done.
It did. When you don't have it, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm glad we were able to get it out, and now we're here.
Yeah.
These things happen. We've seen it a million times. It's one thing or the other. But XPeak 2.0, my preference anymore is always the step through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the way of the whole industry. A lot of the models that we carry only come in step-throughs. So
Yeah.
it's like the bikes in the past, regular bikes, you'd want the triangle. Never say any of that again.
They don't know because I paused it in between. So step-throughs, right? The
Yeah.
models in the past, you were saying.
Yeah, like on a regular bike, you'd want the triangular frame because it's a stronger design, stiffer, it could be more light and everything because you have the big triangular frame, as opposed to a lady's frame that'd be weak and flexy. But in modern e-bikes, these things are built like motorcycles with this huge box tubing, big gussets, so you don't get flex out of these like you do out of or weakness or cracking, anything like that. So you eliminate the top tube, way more comfortable to ride. I can't talk today. Yeah, it's just easier, get on and off and everything. Especially if you load up the rack, you can't swing your leg over. On a high step, you have to do the whole
Can you step through this one right now? No, just kidding. Please don't.
Running and-
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to do is same as last time. Let's go front to back. Once we get to the display, we'll hop into some settings, go through that. I have the list over there so we can talk through it. Maybe pop out the battery, have a look-see at that, discuss a little bit of what I know as far as the electronic internals, bring it through the back, discuss what we're seeing there, and finally get you on this bike to test it out.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
The brakes. 203s. I was surprised to see the sizing for these, especially on a 750, but at 203 millimeters, it seems like that's coming with the higher end, more powerful bikes, 60 volt and above, but good to have.
Yeah. Yeah, you get more stopping force out of a bigger rotor. So it's always good to have. It's a good upgrade. It's a heavier bike, bigger tires, everything, so there's a lot of mass to slow down. The fact that it has bigger rotors, it's going to probably not go through brake pads as quickly as if you had smaller rotors. You're not working as hard to stop the bike. So,
All
nice
right.
feature.
Now, this has the RST guide front fork, and one thing that I know that you're a big fan of is the through axle.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about the release on this? I know that's
This is the one where you have to put in the notch, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So this won't take it off unless you lock it into a notch, and then this unscrews the hole, which is good. It's pretty easy to use. I like that it threads into the other side of the fork. There's no extra nut or fitting in here, so it's just threads right in. So you just keep that engaged in that notch. It locks it up, and then just close the lever.
Hydraulic brakes.
Yeah.
That is the industry standard.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be that you're going to get mechanical brakes that much anymore on the e-bikes that are being produced.
Yeah, I would doubt that. They're all going hydraulic. Again, just more stopping force.
Oh my. I way underestimated this thing. Then from there, on the other review, we were talking about the fenders, and I know that you said that the cutoff here looks a little sportier, but this is definitely the classic view.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice is that it does have the nice mounts on the fork
Yeah.
so that you can affix your fender to it, and it's not much of a problem.
That's nice to give you that. Plastic fenders.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of those.
Preference?
Yeah. They're quieter. They don't get bent and dented and scratched up. Like a lot of times you back your bike up against the wall and stuff, and metal fenders are always smashed up right here and paint scratched off and all that kind of stuff. So
Gotcha.
they'll stay nice looking for longer.
Lockouts. Now, I only find myself really using a lockout when I actually rack the bike.
Oh, on your car and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Continue to see this on these bikes. It's a mountain bike, but it's more comfort kind of oriented. So I don't know many cases when you'd really want to lock the fork out on a bike like this.
Okay. I
You
agree.
just want it soft all the time.
Especially when you're bouncing around the mountains of Arizona.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about this. How do you feel about the headlight placement?
It's not bad. It's nice and high. I'm sure that's nice, shine, from being at a higher location like that. But I think it's blocked by the cables and such there a little
Right,
bit.
especially on turns, right? So
Yeah.
it just like it's hard to pull them down.
Yeah.
I think in my mind it's as if I would definitely shoot for the
Fork mounted.
fork mount, and
Yeah.
I think they include a bracket for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Swap it if you wanted to.
I think so. And it looks that way because if you look at the harness, this is the light.
Yeah.
So it's shot out the bottom, so I think it's there so that it could be done that way.
Right.
So interesting thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so for these bikes, they made a big change, and that is the big change for the XPeak 2.0 is what you see on the handlebars. And on the left-hand side is this horizontal thumb throttle. And another aspect of this is just that the throttle is on the left, period.
Yeah.
And that was done because they went with the trigger shift on the right.
Right.
Do you have a preference?
It's right to left throttle?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I like these. I like the little trigger throttles better than the twists, just because I don't like riding with my hand on the throttle all the time.
Right.
I don't use it that often. I guess people that maybe ride the bikes more throttle heavy, it would be.
Yeah, I'm just gonna raise my hand. That's me.
But yeah, this is nice. It's kind of out of the way. You don't have to use it all the time. You're not riding with your hand on the throttle.
Standard issue for Lectric for a long time was a half grip twist.
Yeah.
Better?
Different.
Different. Okay. All right. So preference.
Yeah.
And I know that already you've seen some modifications. Electric All Wheel has done modifications, and it's possible. We've also seen a combination half grip twist on the right-hand side with the triggers.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are possible, but as it stands, doable, right?
Yeah.
And I know plenty of people that prefer this horizontal throttle, so I don't personally, but it doesn't seem like it bothers you one way or the other.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I like that shifter. I like that they went with the nicer Shimano trigger shifter.
8 speeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Do you think it was worthwhile transition 7 to 8? I mean, is it really? Are you pulling that much more out of it?
Probably not. I mean, I just like the more quality shifter, better derailleur.
Gotcha.
Those, I don't even know what the name of them, with the lever, push button and lever, silver. It's on every other e-bike.
Oh, the 7-speed over the
yeah,
top.
little 7-speed. That,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, all right. And then when we actually look at the harness, they stuck with the traditional connectors. And I think if you open those up, you're going to find that it's the same across. You probably know what it is without even tracing back the cable.
Yeah.
That was throttle, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. So 5, 3, 2, 2 being brake, 5 being the display, and then another 2 for the light.
Yeah.
Waterproof Gillette.
Yeah.
Connector.
Tried and true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The industry standard. Wanted to ask your opinion on this headset and the stem. I know that this seat post will, like, Matt from Tail Happy, that guy is like 6'5", right? And this seat post will accommodate him.
Yeah,
but that means you're over on these handlebars.
Yeah. An adjustable stem would have been a nice feature on it. Or upgrade. If you buy the bike, you can easily just swap out the stem and put a adjustable one on it. Looks like there's enough wiring and cable and stuff here to raise it up.
So yeah, you could release the brake cable and then you have enough slack here to get something more substantial
Yeah.
in replacement of the stem.
Yeah.
Okay, so doable. Lock-on grips,
Love them.
love them.
Yeah.
They're no longer the was it friction grips with the half grip twist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely an upgrade there. We do like that. Okay, most important, especially during the ride, is the display.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the color display?
I like them. I like its color. Looks nice, but then it's not like the other color screens.
The traditional, the black and white.
Well, the black and white's nice too, but the other color screens that you can't see with polarized glasses.
Ah, true.
These screens don't have that problem.
We're always seeing you with glasses, but we don't know what you see out. So,
yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I had to stop wearing polarized glasses at work, so when I ride bikes, I can see the screens.
So you
on
don't,
them.
yeah, you can see what the hell's going on while you're riding.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind, let's take a look into the settings and go through a couple of these.
All right.
Come behind you over here. One is brightness, and it looks like there's 3 settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, perfect. And then 2 is your unit settings. So definitely want to be in the
Miles.
imperial mile setup. And then 3 is your voltage. And so it's dead set,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Can't do anything with
yeah.
it. 4 is your sleep timer. So it has a range of, I think it's 0
yeah.
to 60.
Oh wow, yeah, and it's 1 minute increments. Yeah.
And then 5, I think, is a set standard, so you can't change it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then 6 is your tire size. Now, the setup is 29.2, but you have the option of 27 to 31. A lot of people think that, oh, it's 26. And like, no, it's the full
diameter
of the wheel tire combo.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 7 should be a set.
Yeah.
There's no transition there. 8 is your speed limit. So this is the one that everybody's after, and it's in kilometers per hour. 32 being the top speed, 20 miles an hour, and 45 being class 3, 28.
Okay. So it's only 2 options
Yes.
on here.
They've narrowed it down. It's
Yeah.
like full tilt or class 2. P9 is the throttle 0 start. It's active from a standstill on 0 and then active only when already moving. So there's no chance. Please do not put P9 on 1 because I would lose my mind. Me being the throttle happy speed demon that I am. P10 is the throttle PAS toggle, and there are 3 settings. 0 is PAS active, throttle inactive. 1 is PAS inactive, throttle active. And 2 is both PAS and throttle are active. So I think that was on 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then P11 is a multiplier toggle. And there's only 2 settings. It's 0 or 1. And 1 is increased torque multiplier. So you can actually increase what the output is. So as you're using your torque sensor and pedaling along, this is the multiplier for that.
Okay.
12 is your light operation. So this is interesting because it has this flashing option. So let's take a look at that. Turn that on and then So it has this ability to make your lights flash. And so I know that a few of the reviewers do this, and then those that are in the big city, they like doing that because it makes it just a little more visibility.
Yeah, that's cool.
13 is walk mode, and it's I think this is more oriented towards the height of the user, and because 1 is 3.7 miles an hour and 0 is 3. So it's just, is the bike going to move faster or slower when you're in walk mode?
What's 1? What's the slower mode?
Slower is 0.
Okay.
So that's P13, yeah.
Oop. Let me go back to it. Zero.
Yeah, 0 is 3 miles an hour, 1 is 3.7. Now it looks like 14 and 15 are set. And then 16 is your odometer reset, so don't do that, but you can. We don't recommend. That's kind of like it's a dishonest thing if you're resetting your odometer on factory.
Seems like an odd feature to.
Yeah. If you do have a replacement display, we can understand doing it, but otherwise don't reset your odometer. It's not a good thing, especially if you're selling the bike.
Right.
P21 actually allows you to turn on and off the walk mode, which P13 is set for the speed of. And then on that, disabled is 0 for walk mode toggle, so it's P21. So 1 means that it's on, and 0 means that it's off. And then P22 is the assistance level. Now here there are three settings, and it's 0, 1, or 2. For 0, PAS 1 is limited to 9 miles an hour, and PAS 2 is limited to 15. And the throttle is limited based off the PAS level, so they're in combination. I am not a fan of that, but for setting 1, PAS 1 and 2 speed limit is not limited, so throttle is limited based off of the PAS levels. And then for setting 2, PAS 1 and 2 speed not limited, and the throttle output not limited based on PAS level. So I believe you can go full throttle any PAS setting.
Okay.
So 2.
That's on 2?
Yeah, I would like 2. P22 2 is the standard.
2.
So yeah, PAS 1 and 2 speed not limited, throttle output not limited based on PAS level. So perfect.
Nice. Cool.
So I think of all of that, really, I was intrigued by the flashy light thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's a good setting to have. It's good for those people that are actually out there, especially the delivery drivers.
Yeah.
If
And you can change the torque of the bike too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the multiplier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right, we're there. Color display, polarized glasses. You look cool.
Right.
Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about the battery.
Yeah.
And one, the removal of the battery.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the drop out the bottom style batteries.
Especially with the clearance here, right? It
Right.
seems to just be in the way. And then this one has
Does this have a release?
the release on the side.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yes.
Oh.
And then it's a pretty hard push to actually get it out as well.
Yeah. It also seems like if something failed or something wasn't in all the way, your battery's just gonna fall out the bottom of your bike.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yes.
Weird choice. But
It can't be perfect all the time. I still love Lectric, and
Yeah.
I know that you've had a couple of these into the shop already,
Yeah.
and they're more than willing to help fix it. And, it's just one of
always.
those things. So
Yeah.
we understand. I wanted to highlight something that I'm not sure that you know. If you, on the end here, unplug that, right? So there's the ability to charge it, but if you'll notice, that cap is covered, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm driving towards is that you can still leave the battery in the bike and charge it. What does that mean? That means that they're running charging through the plate,
oh yeah.
right? And I thought that was unique for what they've done in the upgrade for this bike, especially. And I see
The little sucker's hard to get back in there.
It's not going.
This is maybe one of the first bikes I've seen like this, set up like this. Usually, every other bike, the battery would be in here, and this would just be a cover to go to a plug in the
Straight to
battery.
the right. So
Right.
you would essentially be plugging into what we would think is that port right there.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting. This plate is not the same as the original. I think it was 6-pin. Now you're looking at 7, and so quite a bit different than the traditional setup.
Yeah.
And then again, if you look at the port on these things, I don't know if you recall, but the Lectric traditional is DC.
Mm-hmm.
No longer, right? It's this 3-pin, the Wuxi 3-pin setup that they have for their chargers.
Yeah.
Now, when I talked to Levi and we were going about it, the explanation was that it would be for 5-amp charging. So plus, right?
Yeah.
I think so. But what you realize is that this charger set this battery down. Here, I'll take that. 2 amps.
2 amp.
Yeah. So traditional, right?
Yeah.
20 amp hours, you're looking at about 8 hours. So definitely an overnight scenario if you're doing to full charge, especially after a full discharge. So I can buy the explanation, but it's kind of like all these electric owners that have these DC 48 volt chargers, and now you just can't use them. So
Right.
I had high hopes that they would allow for a more universal setup for their product. But I am intrigued by the notion of being able to charge. You're actually plugging into the bike to charge the battery, and then it has a separate port on the battery to separately charge as well.
Yeah. I'm sure it's in there.
Yes, don't drop the battery. My favorite.
What?
Why?
Oh, for your extra battery.
Yeah. What do you
Of course.
mean? No, that's for a bottle cage or the lock. They've been putting the lock here, and that's what you see in the marketing photos. Maybe an extra battery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the bottle cage as well, like anybody wanting the water bottle. But what you would find on like the 3.0 on the main body, they didn't have it. They did add bottle cage mounts to the XP Lite
Yeah.
2.0, which is really nice. And I may or may not have put a battery on those. So,
Right.
But I do like the fact that there are bottle cage mounts here, and you have them here.
Yeah.
So a couple places to get things done.
Yeah. That's always nice. We can talk about these.
You like those?
I think, yeah. They're pretty cool.
What do you see as the practical application for that?
Putting it in a car, loading it, that kind of stuff. Maybe two bikes on a rack. The pedals are always interfering with each other. You just pop the inside, or like the close pedals off each bike or something.
So we're
Or
the
anti-theft.
okay.
You run into a store, you just pop your
Pop the
pedals off.
so you
and,
don't have
right.
it's better than a lock kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like try that.
Yeah. Like taking your steering wheel off your car kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a worthy ad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really well made. It's really nice, nice set of pedals. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, we were talking at length about the spacing off of the chainstay here for other bikes, and it looks like this crank and the chain wheel can be upgraded, a
Yeah.
higher tooth count.
Yeah, you have quite a bit of room here, especially like on the other bike, if you went with a chain ring that only had the outside guard and not dual guards like that, because that'd give you even more room to, go bigger.
The dual guard, though, is quality, right? I
Yeah.
like it because
Oh, yeah.
it's going to make sure that if I've seen a lot like jeans getting caught up, right?
Yeah.
And it'll just rip through them. So that definitely helps to do that. And when I look at those things, if you're trying to just go at higher speeds and you like to upgrade, the ability to do that and have a bigger diameter chain ring is worthwhile, and you know that your frame is built out for it. So we are liking that. Would likely need a few more links in the chain.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty stretched already.
Yeah.
But not only going faster, you end up using more of the gears at that point. When you have a bigger crank gear up here, you end up using the lower gears. Because a lot of times these bikes just stay in 7th, 8th gear because you're getting the help from the motor moving faster.
That's why we did that setting change, so
Yeah.
throttle.
Yeah.
Not, for me, so I can just never pedal a bike ever. Who needs exercise?
We didn't talk about this though.
Yeah. Okay. So the focal point of this, when you're here, right, we're glad that they put the pads on the battery cover, the plate
Yeah.
cover, and it keeps from damaging this. But it's worth it to note that, what was it you said? If you fall,
Yeah, if you fall or wreck this and the handlebars get slammed to the side, it could really, I would say, break the battery, break the fork, it would just really damage stuff pretty easily, I would assume. Your bike could even fall over and wham, you know what I mean, and crack this cover or break this off. I've seen in the past, they're rare, but there's headsets that have stops in them, so it would turn so far and clunk and like hit an internal stop in the headset, and something that would have been, I think, a better solution than furniture pads.
Fair enough. Can't win them all. Yeah, we were out there. I think Ben from the Bike Cave, he was the first of the influencers when we were testing them to bring that up.
Yeah.
And we saw it, and it was like, oh my, that's definitely something that needs to be taken care of. So I think you too agree with that notion of it.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, like, it's not anticipated that you fall. Like,
No,
it's
no.
not-
And you're going to break stuff on your bike when you fall. It's, you know, it's part of wrecking, you
Yes.
know. But that just seems too easy to cause. Like I said, your bike could just fall over, and when it hits the ground, the handlebars, you know, wrap to the side and just, bam, just cause damage.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It seems like at some point when these bikes are being made, they put together and like, oh, uh-oh.
Put that.
What do we do now?
3.0 version, the XPeak 3.0.
Yeah.
Next upgrade.
Yeah. Maybe triple tree forks that have the big stoppers that hit the frame.
Oh yeah.
That would definitely set this bike apart too, with some big triple tree forks on it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, we are now at the bottom bracket, moving back. One thing we did notice is you have the full length cover for the fender, and it's all the way coverage for the seat tube.
Right.
No controller there, so
Yeah.
it's not really going to bother it, but definitely worthwhile keeping all of the dirt and grime off of that seat tube.
Essentially you, or if you had water bottles and locks, you know, it just sprayed mud and junk all over you.
Keeping it clean. So it goes all the way around and then it brings it all the way back. So unless you have something really hanging over, it's going to be all right. You're not going to be really sprayed down. Shimano Altus derailleur,
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
with
maybe
it?
a little above standard.
Okay.
Tourneys like the bottom of the barrel. But
So you're pleased with that then?
yeah,
Okay.
that's a nice upgrade.
And then 8-speed. This cassette or is it freewheel? Is there a way to tell?
From here it's hard to tell. Oh, that's a freewheel.
Freewheel.
Yeah.
So an 11 on the minimum, we know, and then what is it? A 32, 1132, 8-speed freewheel with a Shimano Altus, and then this nice added touch,
Yeah.
the guard for the chainstay.
Nice
do
little
like.
rubber stick-on cover. Yeah, it's nice.
I know this wasn't the most pleasing when we were unboxing. How do you feel about the rack?
It looks well made. These are, again, I mean, we saw the weakness in these, but these are some tiny little screws that have this big rack mounted.
Yeah, so they could be
maybe.
a little beefier.
Yeah.
But that's too low.
Fine.
It's nice.
I like how they mounted the fender to the rack. This keeps the fender a lot,
More sturdy over the top
Yeah.
circumference of the wheel tire combo.
Yeah, because usually it's just held on by the strut, and then up here, and this whole top half is
A little wobbly.
shaky and wobbly.
Notice that yesterday, right? When,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I had a panic moment where the hull of a rack on a bike had fallen down and was actually providing resistance to the tire, and there was no noise coming off of it, so it wasn't really obvious. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh god. The
Felt like a
motor.
burned up motor, or
Yes.
we first thought the brakes were dragging. We disconnected the brakes and still had them. We're like,
What is going on? All right. Speaking of the motor, the M24. Now, Lectric prides themselves on this motor, and they say it's 400% quieter. You want to wind
Give
this
it a-
thing up and see.
let's see what it sounds like.
And we don't have a way to gauge the percentage, but
Let's see when we ride it.
right?
It's hard to
And
tell
So
on
a
the
lot of
stand,
that you
but-
have is freewheel.
Yeah.
So, and then when you get on and ride, it's going to be road noise from the tires.
Oh, this is torque sensor? Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy Lectric. We didn't,
Yes, sir.
We didn't talk about
That's
that.
the multiplier.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiplier in the settings, the torque
Yeah.
sensor. 750 watt nominal, 1310 watts peak, and then 85 newton meters of torque. Right? And like you saw, torque sensor.
Yeah.
So pleasing
Yeah.
and a good setup. We'll see how you feel when you get out there on it. Typically what happens is the e-bike joy just takes over, so you're just happy to be on one.
Right.
But
It's
when
a beautiful
you can,
day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh,
breezy.
this is nice.
Yeah.
forget work. Let's go. But yeah, we like it. So pretty happy about that. I come back here and I look, and I think what I'm recognizing is that the brake rotor for the rear is the 180. So it's just 203 up front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how you feel about that? Like splitting the size difference?
Yeah, I mean, the front brake does more of the work, so it's better to have more power up front. And it's the same way with every other vehicle. You look at cars and everything, they always have big brakes in the front, smaller brakes in the back. Just, you get a more balanced feel out of it, set up like that.
One of the things that's been my favorite with Lectric, especially when changing flat tires, has been these little torque arm / hanger doohickeys.
Yeah,
And I don't know about you, but I appreciate them.
yeah, I like those.
They're very, very convenient,
Yeah.
and they've been around since their original models. And so I'm very glad that they still have them.
Yeah.
And then the hanger, the derailleur guard actually is form cut to accommodate the screw for that. So just keep that in mind if you go looking for another one.
Yeah.
They are on both sides. Do you think that they provide like torque arm style remediation?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're, D-shaped or have the flat sides to lock the axle in place, not just keep the axle in the bike. But I do see that in a lot of cheap bikes and a lot of bikes with high mileage, that after a while, the torque of the motor overpowers the nuts, no matter how tight you can get them. And the dropouts are so shallow that after a while, the wheel doesn't want to stay in the frame. So to give it the power, the axle twists and pops it out of the frame.
So very happy that they kept that going on.
Yeah.
Definitely a quality aspect for Lectric that I really like.
Yeah, that should be standard across all e-bikes. That should be standard.
That's a high praise right there.
I mean,
sure. Yeah,
fixes a lot of problems.
especially when you're swapping them out. Holy cow, it's a
yeah.
pain. Chow Yang tires, the huge.
Yeah.
The Hippo Skin Plus, they're 26x4s. This is a source of most of the noise that you hear when you're out riding.
I was going to say that. You probably hear more tire noise than motor.
So we anticipate that. The rim, single wall, cutout. I've started to see more of the accessorization where they put the different color, was it rim tape?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rim liner, yeah.
Yeah, the liner, okay.
Yeah.
And then put it inside for like some kind of offset color.
Yeah.
But run of the mill there, nothing extremely special, but it is worth noting. After that, the wiring. Anything of note here? I mean, we're seeing it come around the back. It does run up through right here at the bottom bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was looking, I noticed the seat tube opening. It's open, like full on.
Yeah.
But there's also no under protection for this. So the wire is exposed. If you bottom out here at the bottom bracket, you're going to lose your main motor cable, rear light, your brakes at risk, your everything. So keep that in mind. Other than that, it's not as if all other e-bikes aren't like that, especially the rear hubs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's, again, standard kind of practice.
I know you've been into this bike, or at least the high-step version of it, and the wiring is run on the backside of the plate.
Yeah.
So for the way it sits with the bike, it's okay. But in terms of the serviceability of it,
A little more difficult to work on.
are you being kind?
Yeah. Huh. A lot more difficult.
A lot more difficult?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think so too. It does give a very nice clean look for the body of the bike running down and getting all of the cabling to the rear, but
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's all we got to say about that. Lectric provides the standard suspension seat post with this purchase, and then the good old faithful electric seat.
Right. Yeah.
When you're at a loss for words, I know there are so many words running around. Like, say it out loud, Brad.
No, it's just nice they give you the suspension seat posts. The seat, like you said, and seats on bikes are usually kind of almost meant to be replaced from the factory. It's just a standard seat the bike comes with. So if you want something a little more comfortable, something that fits you better, then just swap it out.
Swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first thing anyone changes on a bike. It's the seat. It's like,
Is this where I say bike case suspension seat post, Cloud 9,
right. Yeah.
suspension seat,
Yeah.
the best combo ever. 31.8 millimeter seat post. It's easy peasy. After that, the lock, everything's traditional, and this thing is super long. It's just insane. Like that
Yeah.
thing extends out forever.
Yeah.
And you know this because it's actually open on the bottom because the post is so long that it's got to be able to fit through. So, all right. Well, I think we've pretty much covered it front to back. The next thing we got to do is get you on the bike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Things to note. Step through model. Definitely want to see your opinion on wobble has been the big issue in the industry lately. And then torque sensing seems to be, at first everyone thought that it was an offset and people were all about the cadence aspect, but now torque is like, I want to be there because they're moving into the, I want it to feel like a bike, but not be a bike, you know, and all the pedaling. So having your opinion on that will be worthwhile. Check out some top speed, what that feels like. We're not going to do some crazy range test. This is a 20 amp hour battery. Do you have your phone?
Yes.
All right, we pull that out. Let's do a Micatol calculation for the range on this thing.
All right.
So calculator for this. And this bike is the 20 amp hour Lectric XPeak 2.0. So what we're going to do is multiply 48 times 20. And then what do you get?
960.
960 watt hours, and then go ahead and divide that by the number 25.
38.4.
Now that is the mileage from the Micatol constant. And the Micatol constant says it's 25 watt hours per mile ridden at 20 miles an hour throttle only. So we're looking at 38 miles throttle only at 20 miles an hour with the long range bike. Now that's real world. And I think they're projecting like 80 miles or some ridiculousness. But the rider weight is, you know, sub 200, you know, dependent on physical terrain. So
been a lot of factors.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just that. So I want to do that. And also, I figured perhaps we could do you a favor and test the voltage.
Testing the
of the
headlight voltage?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Plug that guy in there. Fire the bike up.
So,
Got my headlight on.
Yeah.
Grab my multimeter. And bring it up here. Oh, let's hit our. And some high voltage.
Straight out the headlight, right?
All right.
So it's not even being dropped.
Yeah.
So that's to answer a question for anyone looking to add an accessory headlight. You need something that can handle the system voltage all the way up to 54.6.
Yeah.
And I think that will cover that.
Yeah.
Current, not so much we can do there. A lot of people ask about the USB port as well. Typically on the aftermarket, you know, you're going to get much better current, something able to charge a phone, but anything coming off of the charger, it will sustain, it will help a battery live longer for a phone, but it's not going to do like a full-on, you know, wall charger for your cell phone.
Yeah.
So just beware. I think that's it. Let's get you cameraed up, chest cam, take you down to the bridge, run you up the man-made hill, and then let you see what this torque sensor is all about.
All right.
All right, you got it. What I want to do is let's start out with the multiplier setting for the torque sensor at 0.
All right.
So that's setting P11.
10, 11 at 0?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then one we'll test on the way back
Okay.
from the bridge, and then that will give you a sense of how much better or worse or whatever the difference might be for you.
Right off the bat, I can tell it's a real smooth, sensitive kind of torque sensor. It's really, I don't know what the word is, intuitive?
Yeah, like natural feeling?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
They pride themselves on that thing, and that was part of the reason why they went that route, and they put a lot of effort into making it feel natural and worthwhile.
Yeah.
What gear are you in? 7, 8?
6?
And then is that accurate on your gear shift? Right
Yeah.
hand side?
Yeah, I was just double checking to make sure it was.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Shifting is good?
Yeah. Nice and smooth.
How comfortable are you going freehand? Wobble?
A little bit. It's a pretty bumpy section of trail here, but it's doesn't feel bad.
So it seems like it's holding straight as you move.
Yeah.
All right, good. Here's an absolutely subjective question.
Yeah.
The M24, 400% quieter.
Have I noticed it?
Do you? Yeah. Is it? I mean, you honestly probably need to get away from me.
Yeah. It really is quiet. I'd say almost all of the noise I can hear is the tire tread.
Tire and freewheel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whether or not you can gauge percentage, it definitely is quieter
Right.
than the
I mean,
usual.
400%, that's a lot of percents.
Somebody tested it.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll have to try the sand pit on the way back.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to be on your left.
On your left, buddy.
Let's break out here and go on the roadway. What I'd like to do is get you up to speed. See what
High speed.
Class 3 speed can do for it.
Is it unlocked already?
Yes, we unlocked
Oh,
it
yeah, the
in the
speed.
settings check. Slide uphill.
Yeah, 27.
All right, so yeah, that definitely worked.
Yeah.
The distance there was a little restrictive, so I
Yeah.
think that's that's an honest check
And before, honestly, I forgot that it was a torque sensor, so I wasn't pushing hard enough
to
to
make
get
it
its
go.
full speed.
All right, let's jump out ahead of these folks.
All right.
Now, your suspension seat post. I know you went over a couple bumps. Does it feel stiff?
No.
So
I
what
mean,
we're
it's-
hearing a lot is that up front, like as a new bike, the suspension seat post is a little stiff. But as it comes out,
Yeah.
you then get the post wears in, right? And then it becomes a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. These, this style of seat post, it's just straight up and down. It tends to feel kind of stiff like that.
Yeah.
It's because you get a straight up and down movement. Definitely eats up the bumps though, the seat
Yeah?
post. Like
What
the
do you
big,
feel about the front suspension?
real plush. Yeah, it's
Too much? Too little?
it's good.
All right.
Approved. Front suspension approved.
Fair enough. So we have the man-made hill in front of us. Nothing too crazy. We don't anticipate much. I think perhaps just check it on throttle, see if it, you can give it a blessing of approval. It's a 750 watt. You shouldn't have much
Right,
issue
right.
getting up there.
Yeah.
With the torque at 85, I don't see any problems. 13, 10 watts of peak power, so all should be well.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Just
Yeah.
the people need to know.
Right.
That's all there is
If
to
it
it.
doesn't make it, we should be worried.
Probably going to need to do something else. Remember your chest cam, try and, there you go,
Yeah.
perfect. So the people can see what's up.
All right, after these two guys, I'll initiate the test.
So once that's done, I want you to come burn it down the hill and then right at the line like last time, right? Give us your quickest stop
All
and
right.
then I'll step it off and see what we got.
All right,
All right?
cool. All right, just throttle, no pedals. Pulling up this hill, no problem whatsoever. Oh, we got traffic. We got to let off the gas. All right. So we're gonna get to the end here. We're gonna turn around, get it up to speed, and then test these brakes. Here we go. Really don't need this much space to get up to speed, but
Oh my. I way underestimated this thing. How fast were you going?
you know, I didn't look.
Hopefully chest cam caught it.
Yeah.
I mean, you came full speed off the top ramp.
Yeah.
Okay. So front.
Catching a little air off the
I'm going to use my
whoop-de-doos.
marching band prowess.
Yeah.
30 feet,
Yeah.
3 foot per step, front of the bike. I mean, how did they feel?
Good. It really wanted to lock up, but
It did?
it wanted to. Yeah, it was.
You
that
just
was
didn't
like
let
at
it?
the limit. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it definitely would have locked him up.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm impressed. I thought that was going to be a little bit further than what it was. So, okay. I need to do better. Next thing I want to do is let's go back to setting P11 and then let's get your opinion on what the multiplier feels like when we get back. Just ride it out. Just see
So
if you can feel the difference.
P11 we changed to 1.
Yeah, it was on 0, correct?
Yeah.
So we'll go to 1.
So that's just based off of the torque sensor, or is that like
Torque
upping
multiplier.
the?
It should up what the power assist is for you,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Regardless, just see what the difference is and
Right.
tell us about it.
Right.
That's what we're after.
Sure.
All
Okay.
right. I like your bike. You feel anything?
Yeah, it definitely seems more sensitive. I guess.
Torquey?
Yeah.
Or like sensitive? Sensitive meaning it just takes off in responsiveness
More
or
responsive.
more power?
More responsive
Okay.
to your input.
So that makes me believe 28 wasn't a hard achievement. Like you went straight to 28 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's your posture?
Comfortable. I mean, it's the handlebars are real close. Even though it's a mountain bike kind of bike, you're not leaned over at all.
So you get an upright feel, which is more attuned to like more urban riding or just street riding like we're after.
Yeah.
I know you want to do it, so go ahead and get yourself into the sand pit. Woo! And let it rip. What is your plan of action here? Is it like dead stop? You gonna like try and blaze through?
I'd say it's trying to cruise through, see how it
Are
feels.
you gonna go up in there?
Yeah. It should be able to keep it up, right? With It's no problem whatsoever.
I mean, yeah, you even came to a stop.
It's almost too much. Maybe a lower setting would be.
Yeah. Please don't break the bike, Brad. Now, you changed gears. You went into a low gear while you were doing it?
Yeah, I was in third.
And how do you feel? Like, were you contributing or were you just pedaling?
Oh no, it's definitely contributing. Yeah. Yeah, heading pads 5 and third gear. And then on the second time through, I done pads 3 in third gear. And it's actually easier because 5, it would just kick in so hard it wouldn't like wheelie and fishtail and dig in.
Yeah. So through the loose sand, you almost lose traction.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that you have already been on the high step. Do you know what you would prefer? Step through, high step?
Yo. I mean, really, I'd go with the step through just because it's easier. Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Color-wise, you all right with that too?
Yeah, I like this color. It's real, like industrial, military kind of cool color.
Right?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad.
We don't really have a ranking now, so seal of approval?
Yeah, definitely.
I think the 15 amp hour battery is $13.99, and then the 20 amp hour battery is $15.79, I believe, currently. And they do have different pricing. So how do you feel about that?
Definitely good price points. Yeah, for sure.
And I think the mileage you're looking at, like 38, it becomes a situation where it's, you know, how much do you want to be on your bum?
Yeah, I didn't mind that post though. Like going through the intersection and stuff, it nice float to it, and not bad.
Well, there it is, Lectric XPeak 2.0 step through 750 watt rear hub. This is the long range version with 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery, RST Renegade front fork with 203 millimeter rotors for the hydraulic disc brakes, 180 on the back, a nice max 60-pound rear rack with the blinky lights, which we really like, and the removable pedals, which seem to strike you. You could do the beach sandy spinny thing if you want to. Yeah. we'll do like tail happy, right? And actually, a lot of people are doing it. Maximum Charge is doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And, the Bike Cave is doing it. So actually, you're not allowed to do that. So scratch that from the repertoire. All right, Brad, let's go ahead and get inside, close out this video, and call it a day. Thank you very much.
All right, buddy.
Well, Brad, good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think the rack test or the rack evaluation is going to be invaluable to those that might be on the fence about the new Lectric XPeak 2.0. One of the things that I'm really impressed with is the fact that they got a torque sensor in at this price point. And seemingly, I think you might agree, it is quieter.
Yeah, I would say the motor's definitely quieter. If you put some slicks on this, some street tires, you'd probably definitely notice. But all you can make out was the hum from the tires.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Right? And then freewheel. I could hear freewheel, but that's I'm so in tune to the audio now.
Right.
I want it to suck terribly.
Yeah.
Big difference is that, you know, they don't rub me the wrong way, but that I notice them the most, the handlebars. Right?
Oh, yeah?
Throttle on the left,
Oh.
trigger shift on the right. It kills me.
Yeah.
I go by the old MOT, you know, DOT motorcycle
Right on the
rules.
right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's everything is on the right-hand side, so
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. Other than that, I think it's okay. I
Yeah.
do like it. I know a lot of other people like it. And there's enough slack in those handlebars or the cables up front to get you some posture in the event that you are a taller fellow or lady and
Yeah.
you need to bring that up to accommodate. Seat post is going to be long enough. If you like the suspension seat post, it's going to be adequate enough. You may end up getting a different seat. Who knows? The rack has a 60-pound capacity. That's good. Bottle cage mounts on the frame. You have fenders that are going to cover it all for you very well. And then this one came with a lock, and I think that they're pretty much giving the lock out on the
Yeah.
others. You may end up changing the headlight, moving that around, just because
Yeah.
that positioning is a little, it's something. And then the rest of it is the tried and true stuff. You know, you got the torque hanger situation here on
Yeah.
the rear axle, which is really nice and something we really like. And then the upgraded Shimano Altus versus the Tourney.
Yeah.
So that works out as well. And your very favorite, the removable pedals.
Yeah. Quick release pedals.
There you go. I mean, that's what it boils down to, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, is the quick release pedals. There is the factory setup, the original standard battery at 15 amp hours, and then the long range battery at 20. Currently $13.99 or $15.79, $15.99, that range for the 20 amp hour. And then with the Michael Toll constant on the long range battery, we realized achieving a mileage of around 38 at 20 miles an hour throttle only. So
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
definitely
pretty
worthwhile.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. So above all else, the real reason you want to get Lectric is the customer service. They have a nice quality product line. If you're looking for anything from a 20x3 to a 26x4 fat tire e-bike, Lectric is definitely going to be on the list regardless of whether or not you know about the company or not, because that company provides some of the best customer, no, not some of, they
Right,
provide
the-
the best
yeah,
customer service
yeah.
out there. And that is the number one reason that I would recommend it. We will leave links to Lectric e-bikes in the description below, and we appreciate you utilizing that link if you choose to go ahead and purchase an e-bike like this from Lectric. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out e-bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event, and go for a ride with your friends. Jeremy's over there laughing at me because he's remembering what I'm saying. And then, if you need any repair, maintenance, upgrades on your PEV electric bikes, or
Hydrofoils.
yeah, please. Can you please bring a hydrofoil to
E-foils.
the, that.
Yeah.
We want to test it after we fix it, of course. Bring it into Tarpaton's e-bikes in Palm Harbor, Florida. Brad and the crew will take care of you. I think that's it, man.
Yeah. All right.
Job well done.
Good times.
Saturday is over.
Yeah.
Let's go home.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you next time.